So the only thing we can figure is that the service line to George's went this way, right? The service line to the house went this way. And somehow the thing was, now, we have no way. The guy was what they call that if anything slightly happens, it's going to come to the you know you got shut off. And run the top line, up to the side of the fence. That's the state road.
I'd like to call to order the Shandaken Town Board meeting for April 2014. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's right, man.
Board Member Bernstein?
Here.
Board Member Dickens?
Here.
Board Member Lewin?
Here.
Board Member Storms? Here. Supervisor Stanley?
Here. I have a motion to approve the minutes of the previous town board meeting.
I like the motion to approve the previous minutes.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Supervisor's financial report. March 2014. Ambulance fees, $4,838.30. Ulster County sales tax, $27,519.69. Lieu of taxes, $59.31. Phoenicia Water District interest, $1.18. Ulster County shared services, $10,241. Workers' compensation, $6,662.85. Phoenicia Library rent, $300. Phoenicia Library electric reimbursement, $152.30. Justice fees, $12,546. Building permit fees, $75. Dog licenses, $67.50. Police fees, $15. Highway interest, $28.01. Fuel reimbursement, $1,179.50. Mariner cell tower, $785.07. Registrar, $127.50. Pine Hill water rents, $5,300. New York State reimbursement, $100 for a total of $69,998.21. Communications. Month of April 2014. New York Rising. The New York Rising. Hold on a second. Static.
No.
Rain. There we go. It's New York Rising. New York Rising Committee has completed most of their work and have submitted proposals for consideration to the state. They have a public information session scheduled for Saturday, May 3rd at Bel Air Mountain. Flyers and postcards will be going out shortly to notify you of the time and the place. Also, there's a deadline fast approaching to request individual assistance through the New York Rising Home Program. If your home or business was affected during Hurricanes Irene or Lee, you may qualify for assistance in demolition, elevation, or renovations for your home. The deadline is this Thursday, April 11th. If interested, check the town website, shandaken.us, under the New York Rising tab, or call 518-231-7686 for more information. Engineering and planning. On March 24th, the town board convened a special meeting to select an engineering and planning firm to assist the town in a number of upcoming and proposed projects. At the meeting, the town board, with assistance from the highway and building departments, selected Malone and McBroom Incorporated. This firm may be a familiar name to some of you because this is the firm that has assisted the town in drawing up the design plans for the Stony Clove work done by the Main Street Bridge and provided technical assistance to Ulster County Soil and Water Conservation District for multiple jobs continuing along the Stony Clove in Chichester. Additionally, the town board at that meeting went to executive session and after some discussion, voted to replace Joanne Calv as chair of the planning board, replacing her with local surveyor Don Brewer as chair and Kathy Jordan as vice chair. Mrs. Calv will remain on the planning board, but has some personal matters that need her attention. Resolutions. Tonight we have a resolution from the Ulster County Clerks Association to support their request to Ulster County to better address the issue with mailing of the tax bills this year. Also, we have a resolution sent to us by our neighbors in Olive who are supporting what is referred to as pollinator-friendly towns. This memorializing resolution is to recognize the importance of certain types of plants and reduction in pesticide usage to help protect the plants specific to monarch butterflies and their migratory routes. Lastly, we have a resolution for the second annual Woodstock Women's Grand Prix Bicycle Race. This race is to take place on Saturday, May 3rd, and is another in the list of new local events promoting our recreational offerings throughout the area. Events and ongoings. The annual Boy Scout Penny Social will take place at the Parish Hall from 6 to 10 p.m. this Saturday, a great event supporting a wonderful organization. A gala event for the Catskill Interpretive Center is to be held this Saturday at the Ashokan Center in Olive from 5 to 8 p.m. For information, please reach out to the Catskill Interpretive Center website or the link on the town website. I'd also like to extend our thanks to the Highway Department for addressing the drainage situation that has lingered at the Ed West Memorial Field in Glenbrook Park. They have rectified the drainage issue, and we are now gearing up for the opening day ceremonies for the Mountain Valley Little League to take place on Saturday, April 26th from 5 to 8 p.m. Shandaken, Woodstock, and Olive Little Leaguers will be there to open their season. There will be a work party at the park this weekend, Saturday, April 12th, during the day to put some finishing touches on the parking field. If you're interested in assisting, contact me at my office, 688-7165, and I can provide you further contact information with the organizers. Also, as the weather is warming up, we're preparing to finally install the new town welcome signs and kiosks. We will keep you posted as we progress, but we'll need several volunteers for the erection of the new information kiosks to be placed in different locations throughout the town. NFIP. Recently, Eric Alfresenda and I attended a 3-day seminar at the New York State Association of Floodplain Managers Annual Conference on the National Flood Insurance Program and the impacts new mapping will have on our community. I cannot express the importance of this issue to current and future landowners, as well as the future resiliency of our communities. These issues will have to be addressed through local ordinances and projects to help everyone reduce anticipated dramatic cost increases over the coming years. The seminar was extremely informative, and I would like to invite one of the presenters here to Shandaken for a televised overview of the upcoming changes to the National Flood Insurance Program and impacts to our local community. It need not be an official meeting, but more of a public outreach session open to the public, but I would like to find a date where all the members of all the municipal boards of Shandaken could be in attendance to ask questions and get some answers. Our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, May 5th at 7 p.m. Do you have any other communications?
I got one. Andrew Kevaney is going to be receive his Eagle Scout badge on April 26th at 7 p.m. That's going to be up at the Shandaken Alvin Hose Company, and I'd like to extend congratulations to him. Also, the Shandaken Alvin Hose Company is a sponsor of Troop 60, and I'd like to thank them for sponsoring that event up there and putting it on.
I've got one. The annual senior prom is going to be at Parish Hall this Thursday, April 10th at 4 o'clock. It's free to all senior citizens. There'll be a full dinner prepared and served, inviting Auntie DECA students and local restaurants, and it's sponsored by the Phoenicia Rotary. For more info, call Ken at 332-6702 or Mike at 688-5357.
Yep, the annual egg hunt will be at Parish Field, sponsored by Emmett Whitney Hose Company, next Saturday, the 19th, from 11 o'clock sharp. Prizes for everyone, over 2,000 eggs. We have the computer classes starting again in April 23rd to June 11th. There'll be 8 classes, and it would be $10 per class, and you can take as many classes as you want. We have Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel. So if you'd like to sign up for those, call the clerk's office at 688-5004, And lastly, we have the rabies and distemper clinic coming up again on May 17th for dogs and cats. Rabies shots are $10, distemper is $15.
Anybody else? All right, committee reports. Ambulance. Mr. Rich.
Good evening. March 2014 report, Lieutenant Shandaken Ambulance. Total calls received was 39. Mutual aid was given 0. Mutual aid received 1. Secondary to multiple calls in the district. To quote a rather well-known sportsman around here, "Hey Joe, it's trout season." It's that time again when we dust off our waders, get to the stream. Although the high water and a bit of rain in the beginning of the month scared some, it left the resilient and hardier of the anglers a whole lot of fish on opening day. To save sounding like a broken record, if you decide to cash in on the bounty that us diehards, or alternatively nutcases, have all had to ourselves, please use a little common sense. If you're not an experienced wade fisherman, as the Sopus is a predominantly wade fishery, or you don't know how to swim, wear a life jacket when close to the water, and don't venture out alone or too far from the bank. As the stream banks are still unstable in spots, be mindful of undercut banks and loose stones. While wearing chest waders, always wear a wading belt, which is generally a wider width, adjustable, elasticized belt that goes around your chest and seals around the top of your waders. It makes it tougher for the water to fill up your waders and drag you under the water if you slip in. If, heaven forbid, you do fall in the water and get carried away by the current, be sure to ride the current feet first. This allows you to prepare for what's ahead, allows you to maneuver by paddling your hands, and shields vital parts of your body from oncoming rocks and debris. Your bottom might hate you, but your head will thank you. As April showers will be prevalent, check stream levels on the USGS website, or check with local fishing shops that provide daily stream condition reports online, or with a phone call. Being aware of a swollen stream and potentially dangerous conditions may not only save a wasted day fishing, if there is such a thing, but it may also save a life. Motto is there, and stay safe in tight lines. Thanks.
Thank you.
Rich, excuse me, Rick, do you recommend people standing up and trying to walk out?
Always, another thing that we like to advocate is to have a waiting staff as well. If you have more of a footprint where you have another thing aside from both your legs, you know, keeping you upright, clearly a good thing. Yeah, but obviously you have to go upright out in the water.
It's important to know. Police report for March 2014, we had 120 total calls. We patrolled 6,621 miles. 10 total arrests, 14 total charges, wrote 26 traffic tickets and 2 parking tickets. With 1 accident hit and run, 3 accidents involving an animal, 5 property damage accidents, 1 aggravated harassment, which was a misdemeanor, 5 animal complaints, 7 AIDs, 1 burglary, 1 check to welfare, 2 criminal mischief, 1 disabled vehicle, 1 disorderly conduct, 1 domestic, 1 fire in a structure, 1 fire in a vehicle, 1 found property, 2 fraud, 7 misdemeanor larcenies, 2 felony larcenies, 4 lockouts, 1 lost property. We assisted on 9 medicals. We had 3 mental health investigations, 1 narcotics investigation, 2 neighbor disputes, 1 noise complaint, 1 open door, 6 requests for patrol, 3 requests for assistance, 11 security checks. We verified 1 sex offender's address, 1 suspicious activity, 1 suspicious person, 2 suspicious vehicle, 1 unwanted subject, 1 unintended death, 1 unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, 10 vehicle and traffic complaints, 1 warrant arrest, 1 wires down, 6 abandoned 911s, and we followed 8 school buses. Any questions on this that I just read?
Was the found property the lost property?
No, 2 different things.
Just curious.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I just got a text from somebody that came here to the meeting.
Yeah, Ellen's gonna put a notice on the call time where we called them last week, and they tested their machine and they heard sound, so evidently we're wrong. So on the message, we're gonna give his personal number to call,
Should we put a little sign
Yeah,
in
we're
the
gonna
town
put-
to say
we
no
should.
sound right now?
Yeah, full-time.
So
Give that
people
number,
know.
Ellen, I'll make a sign.
We have it going out live because in some sections of the town, they probably have sound.
Yeah, but we're getting text
That's
messages.
what's happened before.
So, they're gonna call him and say there's no sound, so hopefully that'll help, and they'll come up and look into it, because everything's working here.
Yeah. And if they hear sound, then that proves that we're going out with sound. So there's nothing more we can do.
Phoenicia Water.
You are probably the most up-to-date person, but we're actively seeking funds, both borrowed and any other way we can find them, to update the system and do regular maintenance. So, what was, you have pretty much what's going on now.
So the Phoenicia Water Committee discussed going to bond for the $30,000 pump, approximate $30,000 pump that needs to be added to the filtration gallery. I called Community Bank, Brad is working on it, I asked for 2 quotes, one for $40,000 for 4 years and the other one for $40,000 for 5 years. Again, that should parse it out fairly well where it wouldn't be a dramatic increase towards the tax base. Then on Friday, in a conversation where they're digging on High Street or on Bridge Street there, met with Rural Water. They enlightened us to a revolving loan fund that provides funds up to $100,000 for communities with 3% interest. Again, I have to wait to meet with the engineering firm that we just hired because I'm going to have to go over a number of projects, this being one of them. I'd like them to spec it out. The revolving loan fund requires specifics on what you're trying to buy, and actually you score more points by having those specifics laid out before you apply. So it might be better for the district. And we'll just have to weigh the options. When I get those figures, I'll send them over to the water district. I can hand them to Alfie and have them presented at your next meeting.
Because 3% sounds pretty advantageous for what we need.
Also, we could use the extra too.
Well,
I also met with Candace Palmer with RCAP Solutions concerning community development block grant funding. And we're going to be too late for funding opportunity this year, but probably put an application, because she has to do an income survey for Phoenicia, which is going to take some time. And basically would be for all the other work, the infiltration gallery, all this stuff. Again, those FEMA applications are in, they're sitting there, but it's another option. It's another option for us.
there was a pretty serious leak on Bridge Street, which they worked on today, and Sunday too, I think, so.
So again, I know there's no sound, but for the people on High Street that were shut off today, the issue is a service connection that goes from the main starting on the west side of Bridge Street. And it actually goes underground into a galvanized sleeve, which consistently rubs.
No sound, it's okay.
Oh, no sound. Which consistently rubs on the copper line, and it's been leaking and leaking and leaking periodically over a number of years. So they were working to fix it and then re-tap it on the east side of Bridge Street. It's for Black Bear Campground.
Right.
But then ran into difficulties again today with the huge transformer that sits there and the NICEAG crew and their availability. So they will be tackling it again tomorrow. They were hoping not to have to shut down the main, but things happen.
Will, yeah.
So, and so please bear with us while we try to work it out, so.
Next meeting is the 16th, 6:30 at the water plant.
Helmer,
Yeah.
could I just ask you, when
Sure.
does this pump have to be in? I mean, is it mandatory, it's gotta be in
No,
really fast?
when the system was originally designed, it was intended to have 3 pumps, and they ran out of funds,
Right,
so there were only 2 pumps.
right.
So if we lose one of the 2 we have now, we have serious issues supply-wise. And so the third one gives us and plus they've been in service for quite a long time now, continuously. So it gives us flexibility
Right.
to, when we get the new one, we can pull one at a time, have them rebuilt, and so then we have a fully functional system. And with backup, which
Right,
is really
right.
important. Especially in the middle of summer, and have festivals and all the rest of it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay.
Pineville Water, actually, there'll be a motion concerning this. The issue came up with a landowner in Pineville. There's no big issue in Pineville Water. The gentleman that owns Chelsea Park discovered during his deed research that there's actually a 100 by 100 parcel of land right in the center of his property that's apparently belongs to the Pine Hill Water District. In conversation with the town attorney as well as Don Clark, it is not anything we need, it's nothing we use, it's nothing we reference. It was an old reservoir from days gone by. So we will have a motion tonight to basically hire an appraiser to look at that property, give us a fair market value on it. Next month, we'll probably have a resolution because it's got to go to public auction. So again, it's a landlocked 100 by 100 parcel right in the middle of his land. He would just like the opportunity to purchase it and make his parcel home. So we'll have a motion tonight for appraiser. Other than that, there is nothing Pine Hill Water right now. Museum.
A lot of problems with the museum. One of them was the heat that I've been complaining about for the last 2 years. Finally, I got a volunteer to come in outside of Heritage who straightened it out, and I want to thank your father, Mr. Stanley, for coming in and assisting us in straightening out the heat. The other thing is the issues at the museum that I don't want to speak about in front of the camera. But I want to know who my liaison is, and I want them to come to the museum, and I want to sit down with them and discuss all of these items. Who is my liaison? Vinny? You'll make an appointment with me. I want you to come to the museum, and we'll sit down and I'll go over everything at the museum with you.
I'll discuss it with Rob.
All right. Let me know.
I'm not Rob's father.
Rick,
Oh, we know that.
There he is. There's Rob's father.
recreation.
There's the man responsible for him.
Recreation, again, as I announced, the opening day for Little League, Mountain Valley Little League, MVLL. Mountain Valley Little League will take place on April 26th. Again, thank you to the Highway Department for the work in drainage. There's a work crew being assembled for this Saturday. If you're interested, contact my office. I'll tell you when and where and what we need. We just labor is mostly. And that's that. So public comment on resolutions. Yes, Mr. Perez.
I just, am looking for clarification. You mentioned that there's a resolution to hire an appraiser.
It's going to be a motion to hire a land appraiser to find out what the actual value of this lot.
If it's going to auction, what do you need an appraiser for?
Because we need to know what kind of value to put on this property to start the auction. When do you start, you just go zero and bid it out. It's not going to be fair to the town. I mean, you just got to know what the value is. This is the attorney. Explaining the process, please.
If it's going to auction, it doesn't seem to make sense to me.
Concerning the motions, Rob?
Yes.
I got some correspondence from Senator James Seward concerning home rule for town speed limits. He sent me this letter here. When it comes to local issues, the government closest to the people knows best. New York is a home rule state and is never more critical than when it comes to maintaining our roads and keeping our streets and communities safe. So that's why I'm pleased the Senate has once again approved a bill, S1356A6089, that grants town boards the authority to adjust local speed limits. Instead of petitioning the New York State Department of Transportation, the Senate legislation would allow you to make this important safety decision on your own, meaning the town board. Apparently, the procedures to make a change is time-consuming and cumbersome. If you've gone through it, you know, and often the result is a denial. This legislation would change all that and put control in the hands of the town board where it belongs. You travel the local town roads every day and have firsthand knowledge of the concerns. You should be able to make a decision on an appropriate speed limit. However, don't hang those new speed limit signs just yet. The bill has been passed by the Senate on a number of occasions, only to be stonewalled by the Assembly. Please let your representative in the lower house know that the home rule is important and urge passage of this essential safety measure. One of my goals as a state senator is to make sure local leaders are able to address local issues in a simplistic, speedy fashion, absent of state bureaucracy and red tape. Senate Bill 1356 accomplishes that goal. If we have the town board make a motion tonight, we'll have the town clerk send a letter in support of this Senate 1356 to our Assemblyman Kevin Cahill and ask for his support in the Assembly.
What's the moniker on that? A
Senate 1356, Assembly Bills A6089.
A 6087.
You get my copy of that?
Yeah, we'll,
Got your copy of this?
yeah, we probably all should be getting it, I don't know. Okay, so if there's no other comments on resolutions, we'll move on to motions. I'd like to entertain a motion to hire an appraiser to give us an assessment on the value of a parcel located within the confines of Chelsea Park, currently held by the Pine Hill Water District.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we also have a motion to send a letter of support to Assemblyman Cahill's office concerning home rule and local speed limits on town roads, concerning Bill A6089.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. With that, we'll move on to resolutions.
Resolution number 66-14, resolution to pay all bills, whereas the Department of Audit Control require town boards to sign and inspect all vouchers coming into the town for payment, the number and total amounts from each fund. Therefore, be it resolved that the town board authorize the following vouchers paid. General, $56,187.76. Highway, $16,146.81. Phoenicia Water, $8,402.66. Pine Hill Water, $2,502.09. Phoenicia Lights, $1,008.77. Chichester Lights, $142.41. Pine Hill Lights, $574.91. And move its adoption.
Second that.
Board Member Bernstein?
Yes?
Board Member Nicholas?
Yes.
Board Member Malloy?